very good morning from the sports desk. The stage is set for the first MTN 8 semi-final. FNB Stadium playing host to today's clash between provincial rivals Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns. Many, I would imagine, will label Sundowns as the favourites against Amakhosi, given their dominant start to the season, which has seen them conceding just 2 goals in the 7 games they've played in all competitions. Meanwhile, Chiefs have had an unfavourable start to their campaign, but they go into today's clash off the back of 2 convincing wins in the DStv Premiership. 3-0 over Amazulu, 2-0 over Stellies. Joining us in studio to chat about this afternoon's game is former Sundowns captain Hlompho Kekana and former Chiefs skipper Tefu Mashamaite. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming through and talking about a competition that both of you know all too well about. And when I say all too well, Matsoha Lona have had, an opportunity to touch that trophy in, the capacities of captains. But Tiff, I'm going to start with you. The last time that happened was the last season that your former team actually even got a trophy. There is an opportunity, I think a lot of Chiefs fans would hope and think that this season should be the one where these things change. But if you look at how your guys have started the campaign, it hasn't been favourable. And we've seen unfortunate scenes when they played TS Galaxy, where the coach essentially came under attack. I mean, do you think that this is the perfect kind of setup for Kaizer Chiefs, this semi-final against Mamelodi Sundowns, to really get the season back on track and to show Chiefs fans that this can be the campaign?
Yeah, most definitely. Good morning. Thanks for the invite. I think, this is a perfect platform for Chiefs, obviously to show that they mean business. They've made good signings this season, and just to show that they can, contest, championships.
Hlompho, in your time at least, when you were at Sundowns, MTN 8 wasn't your favorite one.
Yeah.
MTN 8 was the one where, at the time, Coach Pitso Mosimane used to say, well, you know what, I'm a league person anyway. I prefer the longer journey. I prefer the long haul. This one, with 4 matches and you're a champion, is not really the one. But he's also said, Coach Pitso Mosimane, that it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So that's why for him, MTN 8 was never really that cup. But eventually, Sundowns did get it. Eventually, you guys got to lift that trophy 2 years ago. Is this the trophy that sets the season up for Mamelodi Sundowns? Is this the one where you win it, and who's to stop you from winning the treble, and maybe even adding a Champions League to it? What does MTN 8 now mean for Mamelodi Sundowns?
Well, good morning to the viewers. I think this trophy, let's be honest, it set the tone for each and every team that wants to participate in the tournament. So when you win the MTN 8, you stand a chance of of going all the way and try to maybe look for another one, and you can even go for the 3rd trophy. But it relieves the pressure from the team, from the players, and they know what it means to play with less pressure. Because when you win the 1st trophy of the season, which is 4 games in, you stand the chance of maybe adding to more mileage into players' leg. The calendar stretches. Of course, players want to be in a program where they will participate and play more games. So I think this trophy for me, I used to love it, but it didn't love me back.
They've scored 14 goals in all competitions and they've only conceded 2. Chiefs has scored 8 goals in all competitions and has conceded 4. You're coming into a cup competition, a cup semi-final. You are 2 rivals that know each other like the back of your own hands. Does it matter what Sundowns has done so far? Does it matter what Chiefs has done so far going into the FNB Stadium?
Not really. It's just about smash and grab. I mean, at the end of the day, it's 2 legs. If you win the 1st leg, you stand a chance of maybe getting a draw. Chiefs is playing at home. If they get a positive result at home, it gives them confidence going to Pretoria and probably getting a draw. And obviously it's not going to be easy, but it doesn't get any easier. So it's just about trying to grind for results. It's not about the amount of goals that you've conceded before.
Hlompho, Chiefs haven't started all too well, but they've still made it to a semi-final of a cup competition.
That's how the cup final can be sometimes. You don't have to play so well to win the cup final. You just have to make sure on the day you defend so well and score a goal. So, like Tefu say, smash and grabs works in a cup final. You just have to make sure that you don't concede a lot of goals. we can easily say form in the Premier League will never take you to the finals. Yeah. So I've seen so many teams that won trophies before didn't even make it to the top 4. And that tells you how tricky the cup match can be. Very fragile in approach because you can't just open because there's 2 legs that you have to play. Yeah. And the first match, I think, that's where everything gets so complicated because you don't know how to approach this match. You don't know how to go and score because when you go up, you open at the back. So it's a tricky one for players. I can imagine the coaches, the stresses they are going through right now.
Therefore, is Molefe the right man?
The game today will go a long way into proving whether he is the right man. At the end of the day, we can ask. But I feel like they have made the right signings. There's confidence from the previous 2 games that they've won, and I hope that it stretches into today. I feel like if they win, this semi-final and go to the final and clinch this one, it takes the monkey off Chiefs' back, for the past 8 years. So it can relieve some kind of pressure that all the previous coaches have been experiencing.
Just very quickly, gentlemen, unfortunately, but I want to ask this one to you, as a Sundowns person who, Sundowns is always in the national team, no matter what, given the form of over the years. Looking from outside in, Hugo Broos has said Chiefs players have just not been good enough to catch his attention and earn a place in his national squad for the upcoming friendlies. There's no Chiefs player there. Yeah. Do you think it's a right move from the head coach?
Excuse me. I think the coach is fair in his approach because you want to select players that are playing well at that particular moment. So as Hlompho, as a retired footballer, it means I should stand a chance of playing for the Bafana Bafana now, if that is the case of just picking everybody that for the sake of balancing the numbers and in terms of the team. But I think whoever plays so well, and I can easily say, look at the 2010 World Cup when Spain won the World Cup. The majority of players that were in that team were coming from the Barcelona team. And at that time, Barcelona was dominating in the world football. So the players that were doing so well managed to end their call-up, and they were doing so well for the national team. And I think we should do that. We should copy the good things that the world is doing.
Well, you know what? There's been a lot of discussions around it, but it is a decision that the head coach has made. Gentlemen, unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you so much for Zanako just to come through and talk about this MTN8. All the best to both of your former teams. FNB, what exactly is going to happen? That, of course, was the 2 legends of Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. That is the former captains, Hlompho Kekana and Tefu Mashamaite, speaking about what we're going to be witnessing today at the FNB Stadium from about 3 o'clock this afternoon. The first semi-final, Chiefs and Sundowns. That's where we leave it from the sports desk for now.